What's up, everybody? Welcome to SBR Sportsbookreview.com, man. We appreciate everybody for watching, for tuning in to Jammin with J Money. You got me, Jammin with J Money. Obviously, that's my guy Teddy Covers over there. What's up, Teddy, man? I'm kind of tripped out this morning, really excited. We got some line movements, man. I'm trying to make some little money today. Teddy, everything good with you?
Yeah, I got, we always got stuff to complain about, okay? But the fact that the NBA is in a bubble, the fact that they've gotten through these first scrimmages just fine, and the fact that we're talking about the final scrimmages here before the regular season for these teams, nothing but a good sign to me. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. Even with the struggles in MLB today, I'm feeling okay about the start of the NBA.
Exactly. Last day, well, today and tomorrow will be the last day of the scrimmages. Won't be any scrimmages or a show for us on Wednesday, but obviously the NBA regulars will continue on Thursday. So today we're going to recap the games that happened this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Go through a few stats or whatever, and then we're gonna go through the 5-game slate that we have today, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm pumped, man. We got to make sure that everybody stay in tune. So I know that the scrimmages. I see some people in the comments, Teddy, on the previous show saying, I don't know why you guys doing shows and scrimmages. Hey, we got to get back into it. We got to crawl before you walk, Teddy. No, on Saturday. So Saturday we had the Lakers versus the Magic. They ended up beating them 119-112. Kyle Kuzma seems like he's really coming on. Led the team with 25 points. Real good sign for them. Maybe a little third option there. If you had the Bucks, man, they ended up winning 131-123. The line on their game was Bucks -9. I feel for you guys, man. This Kings outscored them 31-22 in their fourth quarter to end up getting the backdoor cover. I know we were talking about the Heat and the Jazz. I thought that the Heat were going to end up getting it done over the Jazz. Jazz seemed like they came to play. They got everything together. They game. They came to play some defense. It was a close game throughout, but they did end up beating the Heat 101-99. The Nets, they end up taking down the Spurs, man. The Spurs got some huge problems with turnovers, with defense. I mean, Caris LeVert had 27 points. The Nets, we know Tyler Johnson came in there. I mean, they had Joe Harris come back as well, but still, man, they put up 124 points against the Spurs team. That was just absolutely terrible if defensive display, if you ask me about the Spurs. 39 points in that third quarter, man. That's just absolutely terrible. The Clippers get a 5-point win over the Wizards, outscored them 29-16 in that fourth quarter to get a comeback win there. The Wizards really played well that whole game if you really look at it. And then the Pelicans, they get it done without Ingram over there, 119-104 over the Nuggets. They had some players sit out as well for the Nuggets there. Anything popped out to you there on Saturday, Teddy?
Well, certainly, again, we want to talk about point spreads. I'm going to save a lot of my thoughts on the games from Saturday because a lot of the same teams are playing today. I'm going to save some of that for the game previews that we're going to go through. But from a point spread perspective, note what happened. Lakers bet up from 4.5 to 7. They won by 7. Milwaukee bet up, you were talking about their late 9, 9.5, 10. They win by 9. All right, Miami, Utah, 2-point game. The point spread there, 2.5. Although Miami was favored, we're talking about still a shot or two between the game outcome and the point spread result. Brooklyn was probably the right side of the day from a side standpoint. We'll talk about the Nets. They're an interesting team here in the bubble, much like Washington, two teams that nobody has any love for, but nonetheless teams that might make you some money over the course of the remaining 8 games of the regular season and maybe even here in the preseason. But again, games right around the number. The Clips laying 7.5. They win by 5. They never really sniffed the point spread cover in that game, but the outcome near the number. Denver, New Orleans. Again, we're not talking about double-digit spread outcomes. We're not talking about blowouts. So when we have these games as a group falling relatively close to the point spreads, it's telling us already the betting markets aren't sleeping, and line shopping is going to be paramount.
Exactly. Always paramount, man. I know it was a WNBA game yesterday that it pretty much, if you could have got it around the money line of the Sky and the Aces, I know it shot all the way up to 4. So it opened at actually Sky were +4 actually, and then got bet all the way to Sky -4, -4.5. They end up winning the game by 2. So I mean, that just goes to show you there, right there. I mean, that was a game I was watching. I had a little small bet on the Sky, and I got to it late, and I was kicking myself, man, for get to it late. But I mean, hey, it happens. That's why I say it's just early in the season now. nothing too serious. None of these bets too serious. Just trying to get back acclimated, trying to get back. You know what I'm saying? For me I can't just come back with the best. I gotta just like we doing the shows, Teddy. I gotta do them small and then get back, ramp it up, man. You know how it is, Teddy. But on Sunday, yes, man. I see some guys in the chat. I want to welcome this guy to the chat first, man. What's up, Andre Montgomery? We got Mark in here, Nasty Nate, Rehan, Hyder. Sorry if I say it wrong, man. We got a lot of people from out of the country watching as well, man. Appreciate you guys. Triple C Dina say watch from Malaysia. We got Soul Creeper, Romeo Ferguson, Holden Lagrange in here, Gene Matoya, AJ Alexander, everybody. Appreciate all you guys, man. Hit the like button if you don't mind. No, NBA is back officially this week, man. But Sunday, yeah. Teddy, did you watch this game? The Thunder come all the way back on the 76ers. 76ers up by 24 points. Obviously, they took their starters out. Joel Embiid didn't play at all, but still, that was a crazy comeback. Outscored them 32-16, doubled them up in the fourth quarter. Teddy, to come back and win by 5. Man, that was pretty crazy. If you had OKC, I know you was like, man, this game's over. And then you see him come back. Oh boy! And then a couple of late threes. Andre Roberson come back, 2 late threes to put them up by 4, and they end up winning the game by 5. That was pretty crazy. The Suns, they get smacked by the Celtics. I knew the Celtics was gonna come into play in there when they was favored by 6.5. I knew that they was coming mad at the way that they played in their first game. The Suns, they looked good because they beat the Jazz in the first game, but the Celtics, they really came to play. Kemba Walker played in this game, not many minutes, but Jason Tatum came back to play. Seemed like he's starting to run back. At first, he was real, bro. I'm talking about the first game was terrible from Tatum. Even this one started off 0-4, but he started getting this. I'll tell you who though. Jaylen Brown is locked in. He's locked in from the get-go. The Pacers, my Mavericks ended up sitting for Porzingis yesterday. If you know what I'm saying, was on it, you could have got down on the Pacers, the money line, or plus the 5 points. Once you knew they were sitting for Porzingis. Then we had the Raptors beat the Blazers, Teddy, 110-104, and then the Rockets take care of the Grizzlies, 119-104. Anything stood out to you yesterday, Teddy?
Well, we got to talk about that early game because when we look at the Eastern Conference right now, it's Milwaukee clearly as the number 1 team in the East. And then there's some debate among bettors as to whether it's the Raptors or the Sixers or the Celtics who stand out as the number 2 team, Milwaukee's toughest competition. When you look at yesterday's results, and again, we're not worried. The only people that are worried about final scores in these games are bettors, which we are. So we break down the games from a betting standpoint. That's what we're talking about. We're breaking down the games from what do we expect from this team in the regular season for these last 8 games standpoint. Philadelphia, to me, is an interesting squad. And the fact that they lost yesterday, that OKC's done that all year. Their depth has been extraordinary. And they've been able to rally in the second half again on numerous occasions this season. A big part of their stellar point spread record, and a big part of why they've been the best point spread team away from home all year long, their competitiveness for 48 minutes. But I took good things out of the game yesterday from Philadelphia, and I'm not worried at all that the Sixers ended up losing the game and failing to cover the point spread and having a really bad fourth quarter with the scrubs on the floor. Philly starters have looked impressive thus far, and if Embiid and Simmons come to play, maybe you put the Sixers into that number 2 team in the East as opposed to the team I've got there right now, the Raptors.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good stuff there, Teddy. Good stuff there. I'm not a big fan of the 76ers, but I can't say, obviously, once their starters been out there, like in the first half, they've looked pretty impressive. It doesn't seem like the bubble or playing at a neutral site has really affected them as far as like their first team is seen. So obviously the bench, you're prone to a comeback like this, especially when OKC has pretty much kind of starters in there. You still got Dort playing late minutes in that game. And he's a starter for him, Andre Roberson, even though he's come back from injury. He's really a starter out there. So you got guys like that playing late against the bottom of the bench. You have you're supposed to outscore 32-16. So you can't take it to say what you got to say, T.
And yeah, there's one more from yesterday that we have to talk about, because it relates to game 1 of the regular season on Friday. And that's the Phoenix Suns, who played Boston and were, outclassed clearly. Phoenix is laying 7 on opening night to the Wiz, which speaks volumes about where the Wiz are power rated right now. But nothing that I've seen from the Suns makes me think that I want to lay 7 points with Phoenix on opening night. I can tell you right now. I know we'll preview this game later in the week, but I expect the Wizards to be on my card. And there's 7.5 out there right now. I'm probably going to put that in my pocket today.
Right, and I wouldn't talk you out of there because I think it's a lot. I think that game should be a lot closer than that as well. Like it shouldn't be favored, even if they do get the job done. I don't think that it should be lined that way. You know what I mean, Teddy. Before the game, I don't think that there's 7.5 points better on paper than even that Wizards team that's missing Beal and Bertans. But I can't say watching the Celtics game, I had a little bit of Celtics in my pocket. I had to turn it off for a little while, Teddy. I will tell you that the Suns kept up with them boys close for a lot longer than the score may seem. In the second half, the Celtics really began to pull away, but in that first half, the Suns gave them pretty much everything they could handle. I mean, it was tip and tag pretty much the whole game. The Suns, I mean, they had the lead. I mean, they were running so good offense. Like I say, I had to turn the channel. As soon as I turned the channel, the Celtics went on a 7-0 run, and they turned away from there. So I'm glad that it happened. But while I was watching the good quarter and a half of that, the Suns were sticking right with the Celtics, man. And, I mean, their offense, I must say, looked pretty good. I don't know if it was the Celtics' bad defense. They weren't getting back in transition defense. I can't say that. So there was something that obviously Brad Stevens got on them at the half, and then they really picked on that. But for a while there, they were making the Celtics defense look like a bunch of clowns, man. Aiden getting dunks, Booker getting to the hole easily, Rubio doing whatever he wanted to out there. So the Suns weren't just bad in that game, but I'm glad that the Celtics did pull it off. But like you said, there is too many points against the grid. But I had to say that, though, because I was starting to question the Celtics there for a while, man. For 2 quarters there, Teddy, I was starting to question, like, what the hell is going on? But they pulled it out, man. I don't know if it's because I wasn't watching or what.
But that, in a sense, that's Phoenix. You know, I mean, Phoenix has enough talent to play with teams. What they haven't been able to do is put that together for 48 minutes, and especially down the stretch of crunch time. You know, when it's crunch time in Phoenix, the Suns have had a hard time creating offense, and they've certainly had a hard time playing defense. And, they'll hang with teams for half. They have enough talent to win some first-half wagers, and all of that. But when it comes to actually winning games and winning them by margin, Phoenix not a team that I trust.
Exactly. Yeah, because in the second half, they usually falter. I mean, that's something to look at, Teddy. When you know things like that, you can hop on Suns, first quarter, first half, something. Hey, do you know a mother to have? Boom, second half. You mess around, cash all 3 bets, man, or mess around, take a plus of points, full game as well. Mess around, man, say, man, Teddy, I'm telling y'all, that's why y'all come and watch the show, man. That's why y'all come and watch the show. Anything else stood out to you yesterday, Teddy? The Mavs, they look pretty good, man. Even though they took that loss yesterday, they still looking. That first quarter, they came out the first team came out there and smacked the Pacers up as well by 14 points early in the game, even without Porzingis. Anything what you seeing from my guys out there, Teddy?
So, I mean, Dallas, prior to the league getting shut down, had the number 2 offensive efficiency of all time, only behind that one Warriors team. Their offense is great. It's not good. It's great. The problem that Dallas has, and why Dallas isn't going to go anywhere in the postseason, is because their defense is not. And that was clearly on display in yesterday's loss to the Pacers. And it's not there's a lot to like about this Mavs team, but maybe the number one thing I like is maybe playing some of their games over the total. They're going to score and they're going to give up points. This is not a team that's playing the type of low post defense that wins playoff series.
Exactly. We're gonna smack up the Rockets, though. I'm telling you that much. But I just had to say that real quick. We're gonna get to today's games, man. I see them in the chat, but they antsy. Boy, they more antsy than us, man. Y'all watched the beginning of the show, man. I'm antsy, but I'm trying to read off a script, man. Y'all know that I don't really do that. I do flow stuff, but they want me to say certain stuff, so I'm trying to, man. But it's the script stuff is tough for me, Eddie. I go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to today's games, man. First game of the day, most intriguing one. Not the most intriguing one, but most intriguing one to my pocket. And that's the only thing that matters, man. In my opinion, I ain't gonna even say what I think the best bet day. We got the Wizards here plus 9.5, plus 10, depending on where you shop. Lakers minus 10, obviously. Brun. I mean, Lakers 1-1 here. They look good versus the Magic. Did they? It looks good, but I mean, hey, the Magic was tiff and tap with them all game. There was a late cover there, pretty much by the Lakers as well there. got the Wizards who never really give up, Teddy. They 0-2 so far in so far in these scrimmages, Teddy. It's gonna be easy, right? Lakers gonna blow them out by 30, right?
Well, all right, let's start with this. All right, the money coming on LA. There's been money on LA all morning. We're seeing 9.5. There are even some 10s starting to pop up on the Lakers. The money showing for the Lakers has everything to do with LeBron and Anthony Davis, both of whom were rumored to potentially sit out the preseason finale. From all indications, LeBron and AD are going to play today, hence the money coming for LA. Now, how much they're going to play is a question mark. All right, LeBron, they both played 15 minutes in the opener. LeBron saw 25 in the next game, but Davis got poked in the eye and only played 10. As one would think that if those guys play, they'll be on the floor for limited minutes. This is not going to be a regular season walkthrough. And Frank Vogel, he hasn't just talked about the minutes distribution yet, but, quote, they'll likely emphasize rest and depth. Okay, which is all you need to know. Meanwhile, here's this Wizards team, and you talked about what happened. The Washington is the biggest afterthought in the entire bubble. Okay, they really are. Nobody's looking at the Wizards anything, and obviously they've been out John Wall all year, and then you miss Beal and Bertans. So you have a team missing their three best players. Isaac Bonga's been good. Hachimura's been good. They're looking at Hachimura to play the low post defense now. I mean, Washington's a work in progress, but they're also working. I can only take the Wizards plus in this game. The Lakers have no business in this point spread range. And the Wizards, again, yeah, they lost by 5. They covered wire to wire in that contest. Bad fourth quarter here. They're still alive to cover the number 9.5. That's a big hurdle to overcome in this bubble. I will not lay double digits with the Lakers. The Wizards aren't in pocket yet because the line keeps going up. At 10, I'm absolutely a buyer. At 9.5, I expect it to be in pocket. Absolutely. I haven't done it yet because the lines continues to move in our direction.
Exactly. And so not to compare the Clippers to the Lakers, but I mean, the Wizards hung in there with that. They were up by like 9 or 10 points in that game, right? Even while Kawhi and Paul George out there playing. I mean, so the Clippers only have 10 guys right now. So even the bottom of their bench are still, I mean, they were playing Patrick. I'm watching this game. Patrick Patterson is closing the game. He's one of the starters he could be a starter for the Clippers, and he's out there at the end of the game. You got players like Terrence Mann, he's the bottom of the bench for the Clippers, but he's still a pretty good player. I mean, the Wizards, that fourth quarter loss, I don't take too much account. I look at it as they hung in there the whole game. I look in there, I mean, they getting, 9.5, 10 points now. I think the Wizards, because I mean, even if the Lakers did build a comfort lead, when they start put the bottom of the bench and get the fourth quarter, I think the Wizards still gonna be going for possibly even a win, try to win one of these scrimmages. They're gonna be many wins they're gonna get. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm with you. You're preaching the choir over here, man.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, General Teddy. Hey, I think the Wiz is the play today, man, catching the points. And I'm really only looking to catch some points today, man, to be honest with you. And I like the Wizards getting some points. From where I was reading, I didn't think that LeBron or AD play. If they do, that's better for the line because obviously they're not going balls to the wall. They got the Clippers on deck on Thursday. It means a whole lot more to them.
Yeah, I'm seeing a projected starting lineup for the Lakers is KCP and Danny Green in the backcourt, LeBron and Davis in the front court, JaVale McGee up front. For the Wizards, Napier and Robinson in the backcourt, Bonga and Hachimura in the front court, Thomas Bryant as the starting center. These are the tentative, probable starters.
Right, and then if you're taking the Wiz, man, let's just hope that they don't get down by 30 in the first half. But it still wouldn't be over. If this is scrimmage, and I couldn't see any of the starters seeing any of the second half, and I think the second half, I mean, you possibly could just wait and take the Wizards second half, possibly. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't talk you out of that as well. I could see the numbers being possibly even better at halftime, possibly if you have that type of book. I know every I mean, these are scrimmages, so a lot of people just putting out straight lines. You might not even be able to bet a first half at a lot of places. So, what you think about my assessment on that, Teddy? Maybe at halftime.
Certainly, if the Lakers are up 15 or 20 at the break, I wouldn't talk to you. We like the Washington side.
Right.
If the Lakers have a good first half and the Wizards don't, it's not a situation where like, no, don't take the Wizards now.
Right.
It may well, but that's, as we're watching, we got to see what we see.
Exactly. My guy Mark said wait for the line to hit plus 11, and it could. I'm gonna try to wait to get me a 10. I know for sure. I know it's at 8.5 this morning. I'm sitting there scratching my head.
Yeah, there
And
hasn't been any Wizards money yet. If you like the way, no urgency here. Just wait.
And I like it, and that's cool with me. I do have a pretty sharp sight that I look at. I can't tell you guys, but I do have pretty sharp sight, and I'm gonna tell you, Teddy. I see all the money on the Wizards. Just on this one, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just on this one, but I'm seeing that all the money, like even this is sharp sight though. Even the line's going up. I'm still seeing most of the cash on the Wizards, but they won't. You won't see that many places. But like I say, they thinking how we are, man. Let's get to the next game. It still could be some more money out there. We got I like seeing this, man. I like seeing 0-2 versus 2-0. I don't know why. I've grown to like that. The Kings but Teddy got some inside info for us on this one. We got the Kings versus Clippers here. Clippers, they're only a 10-man roster right now, the max of 10-man rosters. They might get Zubac back here. They probably will, matter of fact, because if Morris only played one back after getting back, Zubac's been back 2 days, so he probably will play. They'll probably have 11 guys tonight. Maybe open up something for them to rest someone. In my opinion, why would a Kawhi or a Paul George go balls to the wall here or play any minutes in the second half when you got the Lakers here coming up? The Clippers favored by 5.5 over the Kings here. Kings, you see, versus the Bucks, they never give up. It's almost like the Wizards. They run fast paced. I mean, they can score the ball. We got Buddy Hield. Fox probably should be playing here today. They can score if the Clippers not really on their stuff. And you see them not really care versus the Wizards. The only thing I'm saying, Teddy, what you got for me, Teddy, on this game?
Yeah, so for the Clips, the info I'm seeing is that Zubac is not supposed to play tonight. He's still out, along with Patrick Beverley and Montrezl Harrell and Landry Shamet and Lou Williams, which is, that's 5 rotation players for LA. However, the info that I was looking at said that both Paul George and Kawhi, they want to get them on the floor together a little bit. Give them a chance to, which makes sense. Will that be the case in the second half / fourth quarter of this one? Probably not. So obviously you're looking at the pointing towards Sacramento. However, this is a Walton quote, a Luke Walton quote that makes me not want the Kings tonight. All right, from last night. Quote, if we had kind of a normal training camp, I would treat tomorrow's game as a dress rehearsal. And we will with certain aspects of it. But, with De'Aaron coming back from his ankle, obviously Harrison just getting here, maybe playing a little bit, maybe not. We'll get Rashawn Holmes out there again tomorrow. So there's just too many pieces to say that we're going to treat it like a real game. We are going to continue to push certain players minutes higher than they've been the first 2 scrimmages, but they are not. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a regular season walkthrough. And there are pieces coming and going, with Fox, with Barnes, with Holmes, who are 3, impact players for Sacramento. I'm not excited about either side in this one. I'm really not. It's one of those games where you're just all right. We're going to see plenty of Daquan Jeffries here for Sacramento.
Who's been balling?
I know,
Teddy,
but that's not the guy I want my money on here.
No, you're right, Teddy. He's been balling. And so look, this is the thing with a basketball player. If you're good at basketball, it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't matter what the back of the name on your jersey. If you can hoop and you play for a contract, you can ball with the red. And I seen that in Jeffrey. So because I thought he's a no-name. I see he's a no-name. I said, tell my girl, who is that? So she tell me, hold on, you're supposed to know who everybody is. I said, I do, but I don't know who this guy is. So I watch him. And he impressed me, Teddy. He impressed me. I'll tell you something. I don't think the Kings will ever give up. I think this is possibly a winnable game for them. I think if we saw anything versus the Wizards for the Clippers, that obviously this is just a scrimmage and they don't really care. You see Kawhi, he doesn't really give 2 shit. I think they should see Kawhi. There's no point in him even being out there, even risking injury in this scrimmage. I know they want to get on the floor, but you play you got to dig very deep to compete for the against the Lakers just here on Thursday. I'm not saying it's totally simmed down, but I just think that the Kings will care about this game a little bit more, in my opinion. If you get a De'Aaron Fox in this game, I think the Kings, despite of what Walton says, I can't stand Walton, Teddy. And I don't want to tell you that, but I didn't even want to hear a quote from him because the players have their whole nother mindset. Forget Walton. He ain't even a coach out there. I respect the assistant coach more than him, man. But in my opinion, if I had to play this game, it would be the Kings plus 5.5. I would take the team that has a little bit more to prove, I guess you could say, in this game, a little bit more to play for in this particular game. I think that it could be a look ahead spot for the Lakers and the Clippers, in my opinion. It's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, obviously it's our regular season game. It's just the way I'm looking at it. I like the points with the Wizards, and I would like the points with the Kings as well if I was forced to play that game. It's just a last thing I have to say on that. What you got, T?
Just worth noting the money coming right now on the Clips. There were 5s across the board when we started the show. Now we're seeing 5.5s at some of the leading indicator books. So the money right now is showing for LA.
Got you. And the site, man. So it's been 5.5 on Bovada. Me and Taylor are talking about this. Bovada already shoots things up. My site, man. I'm seeing 50% tickets. The Clippers, 91% money for the Kings, man. My guy's sharp. Man.
Yeah, and look, having Holmes back in the lineup is a good thing for them because they've had Vajlenka playing the backup center minutes and Corey Brewer.
Is he come back today? Is he coming back today?
Yeah, Holmes is supposed to be in the lineup today.
I was wondering too because I know
Harry Giles as well.
I know he went and got some chicken wings. You know, so I know my guy had to go get some hot wings. He said he was tired of that food over there. But I said, man, that's been a while ago. That quarantine should be over, man. Them chicken wings been in, you know what I'm saying? You devoured them already. It's time to get back on the court. But I think Fossum, we'll see, man. We'll see. But I think them boys coming to play today, despite what this freaking guy Walton said. I don't know which one to take less serious. The son or the dad? All right, that's a whole nother conversation, man. We got 2 more games here, Jazz and the Nets, man. If y'all like the content, man, hit the like button and y'all share the show if y'all don't mind, man. The Jazz favored by 7 over the Nets, man. Obviously the Nets, they still at the bottom of the barrel, even though they beat the Spurs. It's like, how do we look at it, Teddy? Are the Nets did they really find their offense? Or the Spurs defense just that terrible, Teddy? I mean, and in the Jazz, did they really find something there? Or are they the same team that played versus the Suns? Are they starting to get to? I mean, they did just beat the Heat without Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, but they still played a good game. I watched that game. I had a little bit of heat in my pocket, so I watched that game. In Jazz, I mean, they played a good game. I have to give it to them. They actually seemed like they came to play that game. I'm not sure about the 7 points here, though, Teddy, but I will tell you the only way I would look at it is Jazz, even despite the way that the Nets looked the last game, Teddy.
And the money's coming on Utah. Again, another one that was 6.5 in most places when we started the show. I'm starting to see 7.5 pop up right now. And 7's the primary number for Utah. So Utah is taking money. Look, when you grade out the Nets, in many ways, they're grading out like the Wizards are worse, A new head coach. At least the Wizards kept their head coach. And next they have Jacques Vaughn now. Point guard. You have Chris Choiza starting at the point right now. This is a guy who was, in the D League. The Nets were plus 18 with him on the floor on Saturday against the Spurs, even though he only hit 1 shot for the ball game. Vaughn, quote, he's really learned how to use angles to get his passes delivered. He sees the pass where it's supposed to be delivered. When you're not the tallest player on the court, you have to have vision. And he definitely has the ability to see plays before and as they develop. So that way he gets pretty much on time, on target. Yeah, there's so Utah looked not so good in their debut. They had a good second half. They won by a bucket in their second game. I'm not convinced I want to be laying 6.5, 7 points with the Jazz right now. Certainly it's a Nets team that has all kinds of holes, both on paper and in reality. You've got guys playing out of position. You do have Tyler Johnson, who's someone that I think can excel in a Nets uniform and who's done well. Jacques Vaughn talking about Johnson. We're still in the process of putting him in the best position by putting him building up steadily. And then we have 4 or 5 games between when these games are for real. But the guys who will play, you take Karis LeVert and Joe Harris and Jared Allen, they'll probably play the most amount of minutes for us just to gauge where their body's at and to see if they can respond for it. So it is worth noting the Nets likely to have their key starters on the floor more tonight than they have in the first 2 preseason games.
Yeah, that's a good quote too, Teddy. Yeah, I read that. I read that as well. Joe Harris, I'm still a fan of him, but I mean, he's really more of a catch and shoot guy, not really wanting to, what I'm saying, create his own offense. Obviously, LeVert, if he's locked in, then I mean, he can go off for 25, 30 any night. I know the first game he wasn't locked in whatsoever. It could be because they were getting smacked versus the Pelicans, or it could be just because he had an off game. Last game I think he had 27. I wouldn't talk. I'm not. I wouldn't bet the Jazz here at -7. I do think that the game could get out of hand if the Jazz do take this game serious. If they do, I hadn't really read any quotes saying that they're going to use it as a dress rehearsal, but I hadn't read anything saying that they're going to rest anybody either. If all of their guys play and they do seem, this is a difference. And I do think that the Spurs could have beat the Nets. It was a back and forth game. They made a couple of buckets late to take the lead or whatever, never looked back. Here's the difference this game. Defense, and the Jazz, they actually do play defense. And you have Michael Conley out there he might not be hitting shots, but you're always going to get defense from Mike Conley. You have a Rudy Gobert that is going to protect the rim. You have guys like Royce O'Neal who's going to be a lockdown defender on LeVert. So if the Jazz, this is my only problem. If Jazz come to play even a lick of defense, in my opinion, they care about this game. I think that the Nets offense is still so subpar that this is night and day from the Spurs game, in my opinion. If the Jazz kind of play defense, I think it could get ugly real quick, but I don't have the balls to bet the Jazz myself. Like I said, I thought it was going to be like -4 or something. Could be telling, though, that the money is piling in. Even with the Nets and their starters, I still think they could get trumps here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the money's consistently coming against Brooklyn. But you nailed exactly what my point was, my last point on this game. Sometimes they have a hand up. We're not in the studio together. We're in different states, so I got to get you like this. But the one thing that I was going to say is, like, from a defensive standpoint, we've seen it from Utah in their first two scrimmages. They're there. The defense is there for the Jazz. And from the Brooklyn standpoint, the defense is exactly what it was before, maybe even less. So certainly in terms of which team could get stops during crunch time, we trust the Jazz a lot more than we trust the Nets.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And like I say, the Nets offense may look totally different. It may look how it's supposed to look today. So I wouldn't – what's the total on that game? I know somebody in the chat was saying some totals. I know, and this is scrimmages. You might have found a good under yesterday with that Blazers and Raptors game. But the Wizards and Lakers total in that one is 224.5. I know somebody in the chat was screaming the under. He think the under is a lock on that one. I'm not with Wizards, in my opinion. You don't really associate Wizards and under. I know they missing Bill, but I don't know, man. You guys can have it on the totals. Kings, especially scrimmage totals. Kings and Clippers, 226.5 on the total. Kings, man, they're not really an under team, man. On this one, I know the Jazz, there's one thing, they are trying to play faster. Ever since they lost Bogdanovich, they have been a repetitive time saying they're going to play faster. So that's the only thing that we're talking about the under there. But I do think they're going to clamp down on the Nets. There's two more games, Teddy. We got the Magic and Nuggets. The Nuggets are favored by 3 here. Orlando, the home team here, they on 2s here. In my opinion, had 2 decent games though. They come out with a loss. They're 2 good teams as well. Are they going to get their first win? The only win of these scrimmages here, Teddy, against Denver?
I just want to watch ball some more, man. It's been fun to watch. And in terms of weird lineups, the Nuggets have been playing this crazy big lineup. That is not what they're going to be playing during the regular season. I haven't heard whether we're going to see something different today from Denver, which makes me less likely to get involved. Don't know if we're going to see Markelle Fultz. Doesn't look like he's going to be back. Jonathan Isaac should be in the game for Orlando. But the quote from the Magic is they're still moving players, quote, at their own pace, which – I thought that there might be some home court advantage for Orlando in playing in Disney, and there still might be, but we haven't seen one yet. This isn't a game I'm really close to getting involved with. I didn't see anything that puts me on the Denver side. I didn't see anything that puts me on the Orlando side.
You're exactly right. I didn't have a look on this one. I wouldn't bet. If I did bet this one, if I had a free pick on it, I'll be taking the Magic with the 3 points or maybe even on the money line. This is one of they 0-2. They lost both scrimmages. They want to get them a win going into the regular season. They don't want to go 0-3 the scrimmages. I mean, that's one thing. The other two teams they played, in my opinion, obviously better than the Nuggets. Is the Nuggets do still put that big lineup. Shows me that they're pretty much just experimenting. They're not real. I mean, you're not playing guards and stuff. You're pretty much picking and choosing who you play. They don't really care. I mean, they already got a winner in the belt. You let the Pelicans do you like that without Ingram, and they were missing another player as well. So I mean, without their best player, I know money started to move real quick. The Nuggets there, people thought it was gonna be easy. They still gonna get smacked by 15 points. So, in my opinion, I just think that the Magic, the underdog, may take this game a little bit more serious than the Nuggets. That might find some info, and obviously with these scrimmages, you can wait till the last minute right before you bet, man. You might see some info come up, some of the starting lineups or something. So just pay attention. If the Nuggets come with that BS again and they ain't starting no guards or nothing, or they don't care about this game. It's that simple. You might want to look towards the Magic. So that's my assessment on that one. If I had a free pick, I would be looking towards the Magic. Wait for the lineups, obviously. Last game of the day, man. We 2-0 teams, man. Is this the scrimmage little championship, Teddy? What? No, I'm missing. You got the Pelicanos. They what 5.5 underdogs here. So yeah, we know the Bucks gonna be favored. Don't know if Giannis gonna play. From what I was reading, Giannis is gonna sit one of these scrimmages. He didn't sit neither of the first two, so that's pretty much, in my opinion, saying guaranteed that he's gonna sit tonight. Just from what I know Budenholzer said that for a fact that he's gonna sit one of them. So maybe Giannis might sit those in. Could be a couple of players. Well, I mean, this is the last game on the board. It's gonna be some info coming on this one before this game goes on. And why rush to bet, man? I don't care if it was regular season games, Teddy. These are scrimmages. Well, regular season, you pretty much know starting scrimmages. The Bucks might sit the whole starting lineup, man. I wouldn't put it past Budenholzer. He's done similar things before, Teddy. What you got on this one? You like the Bucks, though, don't you?
I do, and I like him even more if he sits the whole starting lineup because the markets will go crazy. Okay? The thing with Milwaukee that makes them so unique, besides the fact they have the best player in the league, they have enormous depth. Okay? 1-15, I don't know if there's a better roster than the Bucks. All right, the starting five sits. Okay. Their bench is deep enough, and Budenholzer has the 15th guy off the bench ready to play. I mean, he really does. Meanwhile, the Pelicans, I mean, yeah, they're 2-0. Who'd they face? They faced a team that sat all 5 starters, and they took advantage of that weird lineup that the Nuggets were going. The win against the Nets in the opener, who didn't have anybody. And Denver playing everyone 6'8" or taller, and the Pelicans didn't try to match that. Doesn't look like they're going to have Zion today. Brandon Ingram's coming off this huge game, and the Bucks are the best team deepest team in the NBA, who have shown no inclination to do anything but win games and cover point spreads. Milwaukee or pass for this better. I don't want the dog in this one. Hey,
I can dig it, man. Like I say, if everybody did sit for and Ingram just sat out the first one he was had a good game, but he sat out the last one. But if they sat out the whole starting line, I just think the Pelicans gonna go 3-0 summer in this scrimmage, man. I know the Bucks, they do it all the time, but you could see in the last one versus the Kings, I think it was up about 20 something. The Kings them there came back. It was closer than that, man. It was close. Kings probably could have came back and won them. We know it's the Bucks, man. I'm not in a hurry to fade them. I'm just saying I'm looking at dogs today, so let's see it. The only favorite that I would feel comfortable betting today would be the Jazz, and then I'm not betting them. Other than that, I like all the other dogs. So those are my assessments. I think if I had the best one for today, it would be the Wizards. If I had a second one, it would be the Kings. The third one after that would probably be the Jazz. Course, then Magic, and then the Pelicans. It's just what I think. Teddy, what you got? You got some?
We have an emergency betting alert.
Oh boy, what happened?
If you like the Wiz, remember we're like, wait till it gets to 10. You might find a 10.
What happened?
8.5 at the leading indicator books, and the markets are moving down. 9 elsewhere. There are still plenty of 9.5s out there. if you bet it now, that may not be available in 15 minutes or a half hour from now. So I like the Wiz as well. If there was one, that's the only play that really stood out to me today. If there was one favorite I would take, it would be the Milwaukee Bucks. I have not gotten the window with Milwaukee yet.
We told you guys, man. Me and Teddy, man. We gotta get Teddy on the show more often, man, as much as possible. People in the chat saying they like Teddy. Come on, people on Twitter saying, "Hey, we need to get Teddy on as much as possible, man." You see the chemistry here? We already was on the same pick, and we didn't even know it. Then the line's moving. We're gonna get some info on it, man. It's the first game of the day. We got some time. If you want the best number, though, you better get on it. Nothing is a lock. These are scrimmages. Don't you know what I'm saying? To take that into account. These are just scrimmages. We're just trying to get back into the betting groove. You know what I'm saying? With a few small bets, man. So, Eddie, you want to any closing remarks? Tell them they can find you at, brother.
Well, that's the key. Is I am not loading up with huge wagers on these preseason games. You know, these are action bets. These are not. Let's back up the Brinks truck to the betting window. You know, have a little bit of action. See if we can get some right sides. Get back in the flow. We're in preseason too, so I'm with you. But yeah, Wizard taking money or as we speak. So.
Exactly. Yeah, you know it's preseason for us. Even with the shows, man. You see, I forgot how to talk at the beginning of West. I'm gonna try to read this stuff out again, though, man. Make sure you guys visit SBR.com and click the link in the description, man. Be on top of all the action that SBR got to offer. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the like button for us, man, and subscribe as well. Y'all come back and holler at us tomorrow. We're gonna be doing the show again. It's gonna be me and Teddy again tomorrow. I think maybe Junior as well. No show on Wednesday. Regular season starts on Thursday. I can't wait, man. Let's try to get to some Twitter. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to Jammin with J Money. Thanks.